What's up guys? How do you find the right supplier for your clothing brand? Today I'm going to talk about the key takeaways I learned from building my clothing brand. I'm also going to talk about how I used that past experience to find a new supplier for my new hat brand. Talking about a cool underrated supplier I found that ticks all the boxes I want but is just missing one crucial thing. And I also want to touch on one thing I learned from researching these big brands and talking to other people in this field pertaining to mindset and perfectionism and why it is more crucial to starting a clothing brand or anything of that matter. My clothing brand Room 77, when we started off, our main idea was that we wanted to bring something different to graphic tees. We wanted to focus on more elevated and more tasteful graphic tees. And to do that, we always thought that we needed to secure a good blank to match that aesthetic. Looking in the market, we've seen that many of the things that already existed were kind of low quality and it kind of lacked that high quality and luxury feel. So we thought that if we could secure a good high quality blank and pair that with the aesthetic that we're trying to achieve, that we'd be able to get an advantage in the market. We would be differentiated from everybody else. So we went through the process of going through many suppliers. We probably have a stockpile of just samples from all these different places, overseas, locally. We finally found the suppliers who had a similar product to what we wanted. We ended up working with that supplier back and forth, and we ended up creating a custom color and size blank. They were a very high GSM, something on par with luxury brands at that time. And more importantly, they had a custom fit and style that we thought paired with our goal and the designs perfectly. These blanks were actually so good that we actually started wholesaling them locally to other brands in the city. But that really separated us from all the other products in the market in this specific niche. And through this whole process, there's some key takeaways that I found. I can group them into three main categories. The first one, the quality of both the company's products and the quality of the company itself. Does the manufacturer you're working with produce a certain level of quality that you and your company want to reflect? You want to find a good manufacturer that is able to get a good product indefinitely, not just when you're starting off and getting a sample. You want to find a company that's willing to do more long-term work and provide a more higher quality product. A couple months down the line, they're still delivering you the same product. This also goes hand in hand into how the company is to themselves. Does the supplier hold themselves to a level of accountability in which your company wants to reflect? Some companies don't really care for long-term agreement, and all they will care about is getting that one sample done or getting that order done. Not many companies actually have a long-term mindset in which they believe that if they give you a good product that they're going to get back in return in recurring orders. You want to make sure that a company aligns with your values and mindset in which you are able to build a long-term relationship with them, which is better for you when you're trying to deliver a product to the customer. The second key takeaway is efficiency and capacity. Is the manufacturer able to deliver your product in a time-efficient time? And this comes to how big their manufacturing factory is, their organization, their efficiency, their team. One thing many people don't realize is where they are. Nowadays, shipping is so expensive. The difference between getting it locally and getting it overseas is pretty much the same now because how crazy the shipping cost is. It also takes time for things to come. An order that takes 2 months to get produced may take another month to ship. And the third and most important thing is communication. Having an easy and transparent line of communication with your manufacturer is the key to all of this. There's been so many times where I've talked to manufacturers and they've just sucked. They don't respond properly and it's very hard to get your point across. Communication is key. Everything flows better when a manufacturer is able to understand your vision and your plan for the future. Now, when I started to look for suppliers for my hat brand, one of the main pillars I wanted to focus on was a more environmentally consciously sourced product. And I can go into why that I wanted to do that. I feel like as I grew up, I became more conscious of it. I feel like the whole market and the consumer is just heading toward that direction. And being kind of like a stepping point and the first to market that, I feel like will give me a good advantage. But the main struggle is finding a company that can align with that and the demands of production. But I found a hidden gem. There is a company that I found called Topico. I found a supplier called Topico, and they are a certified B Corp company. They are the first to market the most sustainably created hat. 100% of their materials are from recycled material. Even their brim is recycled plastic from buckets or some shit. The clasps are recycled aluminum or recycled metal. They also pay a living wage for their workers, and they have great communication. I've been talking to them over the past couple months, in terms of styles, customabilities, MOQs. They also handle shipping well. I've put orders in and they've shipped samples in less than 5 days, which is kind of crazy. But my main problem with the company is the lack of customizability and the lack of the style that I'm looking for. As you know, the brand I'm trying to create is a streetwear brand, and it's kind of hard when I have an idea in mind, but they don't 100% match with the aesthetic with the brand, which I'm trying to go for, which has been a struggle for me, balancing this ideals versus lack of customization and color when it comes to them. And it's hard for me to justify using them when they don't match the style and aesthetic that I'm going for, despite the fact they're everything I need and I would like to reflect in my company. Versus something like a Yupon. This is like the gold standard of hats locally that I could find. I've worked with them before. They're probably one of the most cost-effective ones as well, and they're really good high quality. They make a variety of styles. This one is a trucker with a poly mesh. This one is a full 6-panel. This one's equal wash, whatever that means. Marketing probably. This one just is a classic 6-panel. Very customizable. They come in a lot of colors. And if I were just to prioritize style and aesthetic and not the other parts, these will be going with. So my current dilemma is, do I sacrifice the original morals and ideals of the company? Do I go with the product that's more fit to the market that I want to be in? Or do I find an in-between? I feel like the pressure of it also being the first design, which I've been working on, also has a big part of it on how I want it to look. Ideally, I just want to make a classic hat with a classic design that allows me to go to market. And I think this brings me into the idea of perfection. I think I'm a very critical person, more critical than most. I won't say that's so much of a bad thing, because I think the criticalness in my place has given me a certain taste and expectation in the effort and work that I put in, which has gotten me far in life. But at the same time, it makes me very judgmental on the things that I see on myself and others, which can be a curse at times. And when this comes to perfection, I know perfection can hold you back. It's literally like this thing in writing. They always say that your first idea is never your best. And you know what? I started to put that into my ideas and my thumbnails and my content. And that is really true. The more you say on an idea, you can always make it better. And just like that, when you release a product, it's not always going to be your best, because you're always learning and evolving. We have to learn as we go, and that goes for anything. Stussy started off as a surfing brand in a surf shop, and now they are a huge streetwear influence. Nintendo started off selling playing cards. Now they're one of the biggest game companies in the world. And even looking at decisions like company names, Nike is a word that doesn't even exist. I was thinking about Walmart the other day. The name Walmart is just Wall and then Mart. But it fits so well. And it fits well because of the history and the culture that was built behind it, not in the name itself. Also Adidas. Adidas is an acronym for All Day I Dreamt About Sports, which is kind of, if you just put that in regular letters, imagine when you first started Adidas and you looked at that name, you would be like, what the fuck? And I'm still learning. It's a skill to be able to take failure. When you start anything off, a brand, a thing, your first ideas will not be the best. And you just have to take the L's to the chest, the failures, the people laughing at you to make themselves feel better because they don't understand what you're trying to do. Don't give a fuck about what anybody says, especially if those people don't do what you do, can't do what you do, and would never even try to do something that you do. Just keep working on your craft, keep building, keep growing, especially when it comes to creativity. And it's always so funny because when you're starting off, it's so rare to find somebody that will truly support you and not take advantage of the vulnerability that you're putting out there. People will say things and do things to kind of invalidate what you're trying to do. But as soon as you start to get traction, as soon as you start to do good, it's like that, the whole thing disappears. And it's like a real mind twister on what we value and what we rely on for validation when it comes to anything. If this video has 0 views, no one would care. But if it had 1 million views, everybody would probably say I'm a genius or something, right? What I've realized is that if you really want something, you'll do it despite the fact of all these things, because you have the courage and the vision to dream about the future. Looking around, not a lot of people have that. It takes a special type of person, especially a creative person, to choose to do that, put yourself out there. And I'm learning that if you're willing to take those L's to the chest, learn from each and every mistake that you do and grow on it and adapt and try new things, you will outlive anything else, and sooner or later, you'll be what you wanted to be. Alright, that pretty much sums up this video. The next video I want to make is about branding and the identity of my brand. I've already pretty much established it. I just want to figure out a brief and make it in a more presentable way. I also got to work on my first hat design. I have some goals that I want to get through. I'll probably do that in that video as well. I really want to kick this off by the end of the summer. If you're seeing me on YouTube, make sure to follow me on IG. I post a lot on there. And I think if you enjoy these videos, you'll enjoy that as well. A lot of you guys said that you like the quote at the end of the old video, so I'm going to leave you with another one, which is, make it exist first and make it better later. I'm chilling in Mexico. I'm trying to edit this video and I've been editing it for a while and I'm trying to practice what I preach. Yes, I could come back and edit it on my nice computer, or I can just put it out how it is. So I think I'm gonna do that, and take care. Peace.